What's up, you guys? And never bet against Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now, take a look here. We're seeing articles come out like this. House approves resolution allowing the $3.5 trillion social spending bill to advance. And yes, you guys, what we're hearing is Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and those 10 moderate Democrats were able to come together and come to an agreement, and they passed in the House the movement to go ahead with the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, you guys. So they're going to start assembling this right away, and I'll be sure to keep you up to date as more details roll out. But take a look at these articles. House votes to advance Biden's job and infrastructure plans, breaking the logjam. Finally, they have come to an agreement, and one we're going to be looking at in more detail today. House Democrats clear the path toward passing the $3.5 trillion budget bill and infrastructure plan after breaking the stalemate, you guys. So we're going to dive into this article, get caught up on the details, but also we had some breaking news coming out regarding President Joe Biden and Afghanistan. Take a look at this article. Biden sticks to August 31st Afghanistan withdrawal deadline despite pressures to extend it, you guys. So I'm going to cover all the details as to what we're hearing that is happening right now as of today. Now, before we dive in though, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, go ahead and smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Just takes a second. Really helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear all your thoughts, and share this out if you think it's going to help out other people as well on social media platforms. The best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into this news that's breaking right now regarding the infrastructure deal, Congress, stimulus, and what's going on right now with President Joe Biden and Afghanistan. So you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, you guys, so we're going to be taking a look at the breaking news regarding Afghanistan and the deadline here in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened in Congress today regarding stimulus and infrastructure. So link in the description below to this article that reads, House Democrats forged ahead with the President Joe Biden's economic plans Tuesday today after they broke a stalemate that threatened to unravel the party's sprawling agenda. Now, in a vote, here it is, 220 to 212 along party lines. The chamber passed a $3.5 trillion budget resolution and advanced a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. Now, the vote allows Democrats to write and approve a massive spending package without Republicans and puts the Senate-passed infrastructure plan on a path to final passage in the House, you guys. So this passed, but just barely along party lines. Now, the measure includes a non-binding commitment to vote on the infrastructure bill by September 27th, and that is the agreement that we heard from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi that finally those 10 moderate Democrats came around to. Now, this aims to appease those 9 Democrats who pushed the House to consider the bipartisan plan before it took up the Democratic budget resolution. Now, the vote also advances a sweeping voting rights bill, which Democrats aim to pass as soon as Tuesday today. Now, in a statement Tuesday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that she is committing to pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill by September 27th. So she's saying she's committed to passing it on that date. However, we're also hearing that it's not a hard deadline. So if things aren't ready by then, it could just keep going out further. And she will rally her caucus to try to pass it. She also stressed that she aims to pass the budget reconciliation bill that could get through the Senate, meaning it may prove smaller than House progressives want. So, as you know, we've got moderate Democrats in the Senate that are also saying they're not on board with that big of a stimulus package. $3.5 trillion is a lot of money, and she's saying that it might get reduced down to smaller because there's a lot of moderate Democrats right now barking about the overall price tag. Now, reading on, the article says that the opposition from the 9 holdout Democrats threaten an agenda that supporters say will boost the economy and provide a lifeline for working class households. Now, Democratic leaders have cast the budget plans as the biggest expansion of Americans' social safety net in decades, and the infrastructure bill as an overdue refresh of transportation and utility. Now, here's a quote. The bottom line is, in my view, we are steps closer to truly investing in the American people, positioning our economy for long-term growth, and building an America that outcompetes the rest of the world, Biden said Tuesday after the vote. And my goal is to build an economy from the bottom up and middle out, not just the top down. So you guys, that unfolded today regarding infrastructure and stimulus. They went ahead, they passed it, and they're going to be proceeding to assemble that stimulus package. Now, as they go ahead and release details of provisions and different things that will be included, amounts allocated, I'll be sure to share with you guys here on the channel. All right, you guys, and now we're going to be moving on to the breaking news that just came out regarding the evacuation in Afghanistan and the deadline. So link in the description below if you'd like to follow along with me. It says President Joe Biden told G7 leaders during an emergency meeting on Tuesday today that he will keep the timeline previously set for the full U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, though the U.S. is also making contingency plans in event of an extension being proven necessary. So right now they're set. We're going to be out of there by August 31st. However, just in case, they're getting a plan B ready. It says we are currently on pace to finish by August 31st, Biden said today. In addition, I've asked the Pentagon and the State Department for contingency plans to adjust the timetable should that become necessary. Now, the president warned that ISIS-K, an affiliate of the group based in Afghanistan, also presents a growing risk to the Western troops that are on the ground. And every day that we are on the ground is another day that we know that ISIS-K is seeking to target the airport and attack both U.S. and allied forces and innocent civilians, he said. Now, Biden said that the leaders of the world's 7 major industrial democracies, the European Union, NATO, and the United Nations have agreed to stand united in the approach against the Taliban, you guys. And what we're hearing is they actually urged him to extend it out, but they're saying that they're going to have it set. And it says, we will judge them, the Taliban, by their actions, and will stay in close coordination on any steps that we take moving forward in response to the Taliban's behavior. Now, in a joint statement following a virtual meeting, the G7 expressed grave concern about human rights, particularly for women in Afghanistan, and called for countries around the world to support efforts to relocate vulnerable Afghans. So they're saying they're concerned right now about Afghans and the vulnerable there. And it says the Taliban said Tuesday that the group will not allow Afghan nationals to leave the country, nor will they accept an extension beyond the end of the month. So they're saying if you want to have an extension, we do not participate in that. We believe it needs to be August 31st. And they said the Americans, have had the opportunity. They have all the resources, and they can take the people that belong to them, but we are not going to allow Afghans to leave, and we will not extend the deadline. And it says evacuations carried out by foreign forces after August 31st would be a violation of the Biden administration promise to end the U.S. military mission in the country, according to the Taliban. Now, there is political pressure to extend the deadline, particularly from within Biden's own party. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff said yesterday, after a classified briefing with intelligence officials, that it was very unlikely that the U.S. could evacuate all remaining American citizens, special immigrant visa applicants, and at-risk Afghans from the country by the deadline of August 31st. And he said, I am encouraged to see the number of people evacuated increasingly readily to the point where we have evacuated 11,000 people in a single day. But nonetheless, given the logistic difficulties of moving people to the airport and the limited number of workarounds, it's hard for me to see that being fully completed by the end of the month. And I'm certainly of the view that we maintain a military presence as long as it's necessary to get all U.S. persons out and to meet our moral and ethical obligations to our Afghan partners. Now, the White House said Tuesday evening that the U.S. has evacuated or helped to get approximately 70,700 people out of Afghanistan since August 14th, so in the last 10 days. But since the end of July, the U.S. has relocated 75,900 people. And as of Tuesday, approximately 4,000 American passport holders and their families have been airlifted from Afghanistan, though there are still several thousands of Americans believed to be awaiting evacuation, you guys. So that is the latest that we just heard moments ago from President Joe Biden regarding the status of evacuating Afghanistan. So you guys, that is the latest. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll be sure to keep you up to date as more information rolls out. And thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. As always, if you made it this far and you haven't, don't forget to smash that like button. Just takes a second, lets YouTube know. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. God bless.